I'm Matt, I'm the whiskey nerd, and this is whiskey like you've never seen it before. So let me get this whiskey out of the pouch into the glass and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Now, first off, elephant in the room, what is this? This is the new whiskey in a pouch from Fox's Bow Irish Whiskey. This here is from Fox's Bow. They're like a bonder and a blender. They take whiskey from other distilleries and they release it themselves. They kind of take whiskey, I believe, from Great Northern Distillery and they blend it together and they release whiskeys. This here is essentially one of their whiskeys put into a pouch. Now, you might have seen whiskeys that come in cans. There's actually a fair few of them out nowadays. Not a huge amount, but there's a couple of them out, like 2 stacks. I think there's a guy at Mr. Fox's, or there's a couple of different can releases. This here comes in a pouch and is importantly resealable, which is actually, I think, pretty handy compared to those cans you will see where sometimes you do have to drink it all in one go. But let's talk about what this whiskey is. So this here is from Fox's Bow, and if you look at it, there's actually not a huge amount of information on it. It's Irish whiskey aged in bourbon barrels, 40% alcohol by volume, 100ml, Fox's Bow. Some really cool, interesting artwork that has lots of like references to Limerick City, which is where they're from, and has a bit of information here on the back. But me being a whiskey nerd, I went and I found out what this whiskey actually is inside it, because I don't think it's all bourbon cask. So what I did was I reached out to them, asked them a few questions, and I found out this is actually the same whiskey as in Fox's Bow's like original release. Like I think release number 1 was bourbon barrels, sherry barrels, and rye whiskey barrels. So they have a blend of those 3 styles of whiskey. It's a blended whiskey, malt and grain. Blended those 3 casks into one, and that's what this here is. Even though it only says bourbon barrels, it actually is all 3 of those. They have got a release that was aged in like Caribbean rum casks, and I did ask them if they got plans for future releases down the line, but they said basically they're going to go through this one and see how it goes, and then they do have plans to hopefully bring more pouch whiskey down the line. And I asked them, why pouches? Why did they go for pouches? So basically they said the idea is it's resealable and it's travelable. So what you can do is you can pop this into your pocket, fits in just fine like that, no bother. It's about as thick as a mobile phone-ish and about a little bit wider than a mobile phone, but it is just a nice size that fits 100ml in your pocket, and it is resealable so you can take it with you on the go. I think it's natural colour because it is fully light in colour. It does come in at 40% alcohol by volume, like I said. I believe it's natural colour. I did actually also ask them, like, with pouches, is there like a different expiration date to it? And they said that it's essentially good for forever because it's sealed up properly and it has a food safe lining on the inside of it that is good up until about 60% alcohol by volume. After that, the strength of the alcohol does start like degrading the linings you put into cans or into pouches. So this here, because it's 40% alcohol by volume, should essentially last for forever. It shouldn't have any problems with it as it kind of sits on your shelf or as you pick it up and put it anywhere around. And that's kind of all there is about it. Like, it's meant to be a simple, easy drink whiskey, take it with you on the go. So I'm going for the nose. I'm not going to go into the glass immediately because I think I've got a pouch in front of me. It would be remiss of me not to open up this pouch, give it a bit of a nose from the pouch. Cheers. Okay, not getting a huge amount as you would imagine from a pouch, but giving it a little bit of a squeeze. Like, there's definitely, you can smell it's whiskey, a bit of like fruity notes to it, a little bit of like a bit of apple there, a bit of caramel, bit of vanilla. Not a huge amount, but you can smell it's like a sweeter end of whiskeys. So let's go in for the actual nose here from the glass. And yeah, it's just basically what that pouch was, but amped up a bit. So yeah, it's sweet, it's fruity, bourbon cask, rye cask, give you this kind of almost herbal, floral, sweet, citrus, vanilla, butterscotch sweetness to it. And a little bit of oloroso, getting a little bit of fruitiness. It's down at 40%, so it's not going to be super strong, it's not going to have a huge amount of weight, but yeah, just nice. Very approachable, very easy to nose, because again, this is meant to be easy to drink, bring it with you wherever you want. Just have in your pocket, have in your handbag, have in your wallet, maybe not in a wallet, depending how big your wallet is, but just kind of something you can bring with you. So I'm going for the palate, and again, I'm going to start off with the pouch palate, just because like it's here. If you are out and about, easy drink. It has this kind of, so the straw essentially goes that far into it, but if you suck it up, kind of like a Capri Sun. I'll put a picture of a Capri Sun or Capri Sun. Yeah, you can suck it up. Yeah, it's nice. It's sweet, it's light, it's fruity, it's vanilla, butterscotch, bit of yeah, like a bit of like almost like menthol, eucalyptus, almost like that kind of like the rye herbal spice to it. But yeah, leads on with the sweetness, vanilla, butterscotch, bit of like herbal sweetness there, and then a little bit of backbone of like sherried, not really spicy, not really baking spices, not really like deep dark stewed fruits, but just a little bit of fruitiness there on the palate. I'm going to see if the palate is any different from the glass and see if that changes anything after letting it breathe for a minute. Cheers. No, it's maybe there's like a little bit of a different feeling as you drink it, because when you suck it up out of the pouch, it immediately hits your whole, like your mouth, whereas here it hits your tongue and then spreads out. But same notes, same very approachable, easy drinking little whiskey. So I'm gonna go in for the finish, and again start off the pouch, might as well. Cheers. After a breath, like there's no burn, there's no weight, there's no like heavy hitting left field turns on it. It's just easy to drink walking around. I'd say if you were on your way to an event like a parade or like a party or somewhere where you were like, oh, let's have a couple of drinks, I'd say this would be something you could bring with you. If you're out at the beach, you could bring a couple of these, pop them into like a cooler, and you could just drink them, no bother. I'd say you could also mix it pretty well in a cocktail. I will actually be making a cocktail with this whiskey later on this week if you want to check that out. But yeah, just a nice simple finish on it. I'll check it out if the finish here is any different. Yeah, again, finish is nice. After a breath, there's not a huge amount of weight to it, not a huge amount of like lingering focus on the finish. Like there's no left turns, there's no different palate flavor coming through. It's just a nice, simple, easy to drink whiskey. I'd say this is definitely like a step up from like your Jamesons and your Bushmills white labels, those other kind of like easy to drink whiskeys. I think this does have, like with the rye cask, has a little bit maybe of just extra character to it, but not like something where it's punching up with like a green spot or like a Dingle single malt or one of those kind of more top shelf whiskeys. It's definitely on the upper end of like the easy to drink whiskeys, and I think that was a good idea, because like this here, basically this is going to go into liquor stores and it's going to be like near the checkout, something that you would see and go, oh wow, that's really eye-catching, might as well pick it up. And when you buy it, this here is, depending on the shop you go to, between €6 and €7, right? So if you were to buy a full-size bottle worth of this whiskey, that'd be what, €42? And I think that's only a couple euro more expensive than if you were to buy the full glass bottle of their whiskey. I'll put a picture of that up there. You can see it's got like a lot of the same artwork here. So it's just a little bit more expensive per milliliter than the full-size bottle, but the idea here is it's super portable. Like this here, it's safe, you can squeeze, you can throw it in a pocket, you can throw it in a bag. It's eye-catching, easy to drink, and bring it around with you. So I think that's kind of the main point of it. Like if you see this on the shelf, I'd say definitely give it a go, because when else are you going to see whiskey in a pouch? It's something that you could share with someone who's not a whiskey drinker, but at the same time, if you are a whiskey drinker, you're not going to hate this. It's nice, it's easy to drink, and if you're out and about and you don't have a proper glass with you and you can't really like get into the nose of something super heavy and super complex and super challenging, this here is something where you can go, you know what, I don't want a beer, I don't want a wine, I don't want anything like that, give me a bit of whiskey, bring this out, happy day. So I'd say that's where this is. If you see it on shelves, pick it up, it's a bit of fun, share it out with some people. If you're out with a party, you can say, oh, I brought some whiskey, and someone will say, where is your whiskey? Take this out of your pocket. It is 3 basically full servings of whiskey. It's 100 ml, so that's 3 33 ml pours. Nice, easy to have, easy to try. I just wanted to do it because it was a little bit different. Saw it, and I was like, I want to have a bit of fun with this whiskey, so I had a bit of fun. I'm going to keep on having a bit of fun, but I'm actually probably going to have it out of the pouch just because it's a bit unique. So I'm going to see you next time. If you want to see more whiskey reviews, I put out reviews of whiskeys every Wednesday. I put out cocktail recipes featuring whiskey, and there will be a cocktail recipe featuring this whiskey this Friday. So if you want to see those, make sure you hit subscribe and leave me a note in the comments below if there are any other weird or wonderful whiskeys you think I should try in future. But now I'm going to get back to this weird and wonderful little whiskey from Fox's Bow. Cheers.